This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates.
This episode of Filthy Casuals is brought to you by Loot Crate. Go to lootcrate.com/Filthy Casuals and enter the code Filthy Casuals to get $3 off any new subscription today.
Good morning, video games. Welcome to Filthy Casuals, a podcast about video games hosted by three extremely kind and knowledgeable boys. You have myself, Tommy Dasilo, with me as ever, sitting on the couch, really man-spreading over there. It's Ben Vanel.
Good morning, video games, to you, Thomas. Thank you for having me.
Actually, also joining us, we have the third member of this little trio. It's Adam Knox.
I think you'll find that my name is... Did you just assume my... Anyway, whatever.
Did you just assume my name, that you know that it is?
That, man, I've only ever seen the sentence, did you just assume my... Oh, let's not bother talking about it.
The twinkle in Adam's eye when he's in the middle of an improv and he realises that he hasn't thought about how to get out of it.
It's the only time I feel alive. You know how...
And it's always at exactly 1 second after that you hear the phrase, you know what, fuck it, it's not worth it.
Well, it's, you know, when cliffhangers climbing cliffs, he's always like... He's most happy when he's slipped a little bit.
Getting 3/4 of the way up and then just letting go and falling to his death.
Well, he does. They always like slip down a bit and they go, oh, but that's when they know they're a really good climber. That's when Cliffhanger knows he's great at it.
That's kind of what you are. You're a conversational Nathan Drake.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we're a couple of John Lithgows pushing you off the cliff.
Yes.
No, I'm Cliffhanger. That was his name in the movie, right?
Yeah, Clifford
Hanger, yeah.
Please, Mr. Hanger was my father. It should be a rule in a movie if it's got some kind of like, you know, spicy... If the title is kind of a spicy way of describing the main character and what they do, that has to be their name in the film.
Oh, sure.
That would be a good rule.
The name's John Die Hard.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to take you on then, Mr. Die Hard, because I think this might not go my way.
I like Cliffhanger, but I preferred the sequel, Coat Hanger.
Cool.
Wouldn't Coat Hanger be... Coat Hanger they'd probably pitch more as a prequel, though. Like, it would be weird to go from
lower
him...
stakes.
It's way lower stakes. So you'd get into, like, that's him picking his outfit for when he's going and climbing those cliffs.
It was the original name for The Devil Wears Prada. And Rocky... What's his name? Sylvester Balboa. He was going to...
Sylvester
Rocky
Balboa.
Stallone.
Yeah, Rocky Stallone. He was going to be in that, in the Melrose Place part. What's her name?
Hey, look at that dress. It's good.
Melanie... The best actor ever. What do they call her?
Mariah Carey.
That's it.
Star of Glitter.
No, 3 blokes, none of us wanting to admit that we've seen Devil Wears Prada.
I haven't seen. I've heard it's good though. I would watch it.
It's fine. It's on Channel 10 like all the time.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Let's turn it on now. Let's do a live commentary.
I bet it's on.
I've completely forgotten the name of the star of the Devil Wears Prada.
She's in The Deer Hunter.
One
She's
of the
in a bunch
greatest
of movies.
actors to ever
Meryl
live.
Streep.
Meryl
There
Streep,
we
yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've just noticed that I have a problem with my Switch.
Yes.
I've just found that out because we were doing a little bit of mucking around with Splatoon before.
Yep.
And I kind of thought this was just a fucked weird thing that the Switch had. Mm-hmm. But so, and you know what? Like if anyone has this thing, tweet at us or something and say, hey, me too, baby. Mm-hmm. It's, we can all be together. Write it down exactly like how I just said it. And it's like, so if the controller...
I can't wait to find out. I can't wait to dig deeper on this and find out how many of the problems Adam Knox has, he assumes everyone has, but that are just specific to purely him. Everyone pisses blood, don't they?
You know how annoying it is when you hear that scream at night just before you go to bed? So and it's the Pro Controller to the best of my knowledge, but it could be the little fucking Grimbles as well.
Yep.
The
Joy Boys.
Joy-Cons. If
fucking
it's not
Grimbles.
in direct view of it, it loses button inputs and shit.
That is really not normal.
I'm really hoping.
Yeah, so you were sitting on my couch, you were playing, and you were surprised that it worked because you were like, "Oh, when I've got my leg up like this, it doesn't work."
And boy, did he have his leg up.
Yeah, and then you sort of start. We sort of talked you into like, "Hey, why don't you sort of like move everything and reenact it exactly as it would be in your living room? And then it sort of started to look like you were going to have to fuck up my house a little bit. And I was like, actually, no, I don't want this.
Well,
Sit
no, I
down.
couldn't do it just because like I couldn't really get it to a point because yours is I couldn't really get it to a point where it wasn't kind of a little obscured by the TV,
Right.
which is where mine is. So I ended
Right.
up going and hiding behind the couch, which is my default position.
And it still worked. So what you
Yeah.
want to know is have you got a Bung Pro controller?
Yeah.
Or is the
Switch
this-
itself,
yeah.
I think the whatever reception mechanism, whatever wireless
Yep.
magic is going on in there is a little fucking busted.
Which you bought your Switch on eBay.
Yeah, but the dude sent all of the warranty stuff from where he bought it.
Right.
With it. So
And where did
you
he
think
buy it?
he bought it from Target.
You'd
Oh,
think if you were trying to scam someone,
I don't think he was trying to scam me.
yeah, because if he's got the warranty stuff, it's just as easy to take it back,
Yeah.
as it is to sell it to someone. online.
Exactly. Like I think as well that he said he hadn't opened either of them.
Yeah,
And from
right.
memory, it was all in plastic and shit still.
I've had
Yeah.
that happen where I've sold something on eBay
Yeah.
that was basically new and the person has gotten it and there was an issue with it which I wasn't aware about.
Right.
So then...
Did
and
they
the-
return this dildo to you? Or
Is that why you started laughing before?
yes, because immediately I pictured it as a dildo.
You could see the top of the cliff and you were like, I'm going to make it. I'm going to get up this bad boy.
You start revving the motorbike and just go, "See you later, boys."
So yeah, they were very. I imagine you're going to be, if you have to get in touch with this guy, you'll be your usual sweet self. This person very combative to me.
Yeah,
they
yeah,
they
bit irate.
basically accused me of having deliberately fucked them over, which then made me kind of wish I had deliberately fucked them
Sure.
Oh, I remember this whole story. Yeah. The thing I'm worried about that I need to check as well is if it is the Switch that's broken. Is it the same as the Wii U where I take it in and all the money I've spent on the games and that is just fucking gone? See you later.
I know that they were getting rinsed a bit for that when it first came out,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I keep reading things that they're like it's like I know you can. I think you can back up your saves now because that was people's other
Yeah.
big thing of like, well, if it breaks within a week and I'm this far into Zelda and I have to go start again, that's like such a huge bummer.
Yeah.
I think the saves are you can back them up now.
Yeah.
but
Well, we'll find out.
Surely you're not going to be in the situation where you've spent $50 on a few games and you get your Switch fixed and they're all gone. You have
that
to buy
can't
them
be a
again.
thing.
I'm pretty
that can't be a
sure
thing.
that
It's
was-
2017, guys.
Well, they're linked to your account. Like if you bought them on the store.
On the Wii and on the Wii U, I'm pretty sure you were fucked. I'm pretty sure they were linked to the console as well.
Yeah, but-
I'm talking out of my arsehole and I feel like that might be fixed. So,
Yeah,
and it may not
surely
be
it'd
the
have
issue.
to be. But I will say, I bought a screen protector for mine the other day, and I got it, and I was like, oh fucking hell! Like, this is like putting contact on a school book. This is. I can't do this. I'm going to
Yeah.
get a bubble in it. I'm going to.
I tried 2 different ones and they both fucked up.
Really?
And now I'm just going bareback, baby.
So you know what
Yeah.
I did? I got recommended.
So I'm not worried
this.
about the screen protector anymore because I've caught some diseases from going bareback.
You've been spoofing on your Switch, and that's why it's not receiving.
Well,
the,
you've just come
inputs.
so hard, you've propelled yourself off the side of the cliff, and now you're plummeting to your death.
But I'm going to grab onto the stream like Spider-Man and it's all going to be congealed and I'm going to swing back on top.
Has there ever been a parody of Spider-Man called Spoof Man?
Definitely yes. Not
Yeah, them-
Spider-Man. Not Spoof-Man necessarily. But the one where the conceit is that his
Instead
wrist
of a
should
web, it's cum.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that must exist.
Absolute. That's probably how they came up with Spider-Man.
So Spider-Man is a spoof of Spoof Man.
yeah.
Great.
Spoof-Man. Spoof of Spoof-Man.
Yeah, well,
spoof.
it was.
Batman Scoop.
I got the screen protector that I bought was recommended to me by Andrew Levins, who then I was telling you how to put this thing on, and he said go into one of those places that fix phone screens, and they'll just do it for you for like $5. So I go in and I get this guy to do it, and he
And
like
then you get him to do the phone screen thing.
yes. So I fuck him, and
Yeah,
then he fixes my Switch.
Yeah.
He gave the screen a good thorough cleaning before he put it on. But he's got his little cloth out, and he's really getting in there. Like he's really working the screen hard, like to get the smudges out. And it was a very tense few minutes as I stood there watching it, watching someone else manhandle my baby. It was because I was like going, what do I do if this guy goes too hard and I just watch the screen snap in front of me?
And you have to take your Switch in to get repaired and you lose all your games maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Brutal.
If only there was a way of finding out before commenting on it publicly. So did it work? Was that a good plan?
Yeah, he did it. It was great.
Okay.
And I've got a little protector on there now. It's like
Maybe I should
shatterproof
do
and
that.
everything. I'm feeling fucking great. You know what? I'm going to take it with me next time I go rock climbing.
Oh, shit. I'll come with you. But
Great.
let me tell you, I am not a safe partner.
So, what do we got to talk about today, guys? There's been a little bit going on in the world of gaming.
Yeah.
So, something that ties into something
the
that...
wide world of video games.
Jesus. Why wait until he'd found the thing
I know,
you
I
wanted
was
to talk
floundering
about?
for a bit.
Yeah,
I could
I
have
know.
used an interruption then.
Because
Yeah.
I'd gotten through the muck and I was
you just
about to
taken
say the actual thing.
Giant inhale to
So-
be like, the wide world of video games.
Some of it was that, but it was also like a battle between...
So some of it was that.
Yeah, but some of it was like my self-control fighting my urge to keep this on track. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Having known you for a little while, very rare that the self-control wins out, I will say.
He's the John
He-
Lithgow character.
Interesting.
Yeah, my self-control is a male. That's
Okay.
why he's so fucking incompetent at keeping a handle on me, because I am a loose, free, whatever. Keep going.
Okay.
The wide!
Yeah, I've lost it again.
The Atari box.
Yes, so something that this ties into, we recently did another Bandcamp premium episode on the history of console launches.
Yeah, our longest one yet.
Yes,
yeah.
clocking in at 15 minutes. Yeah, you can find that for $1 or more over at, is it?
Filthycasuals.com.au.
Great.
And you have the option as well. It's not just that Tommy doesn't remember the price. It's like, it's $1 or more. I can't, who knows?
I know that we agreed on at least $1. We all said we just kind of went around and we were like, bow out when it reaches a price that's too high for you. And I know that we got to at least $1.
Yep, so just not to confuse the wording, it's at least $1. There we go.
Yes.
Okay.
You can pay whatever you want as long as you want to pay at least $1.
That's like that. You just did like a meeting guy trick. In a meeting, you just say some shit that other people have said.
Yeah.
But you say it as though everyone else was being an idiot about it.
He did the game. He did the game. To you.
Yeah, that was the fucking game.
Yeah. Why do you think I've gotten so far in business?
You're...
The richest one here.
He's literally
Yeah.
fingering you right now and you don't even know it. That's how good that was. So yeah, this got announced this week. The Ataribox. They're back, baby. I was surprised to discover that so they've announced a console, a new console.
They did that, like a month ago, they released a teaser trailer.
Yeah.
That was just like, remember Atari? And that was kind of it.
Totally.
Yeah.
It was just a video that was like, fucking get a load of these 3 little stripes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember them?
Yeah.
It's bizarre because so far all they've done is announce aesthetically what it looks like and basically nothing else.
Yes.
They're like, check out that sweet wood paneling.
I think it looks good.
It does look cool.
It looks kind of like a high-end stereo or something.
Yeah, it does look very nice, but it's such a weird way of going about things.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Well, I think,
it's the kind of thing Nintendo would do.
yeah. Well, it's like they've played on the things that they expect people to still like the most. Like, the Atari logo is a good logo, and that
Yeah.
kind of reminds you of Atari. And then
Wood
they go,
paneling.
yeah, look at this thing that looks good.
Yeah.
And
The
worry
Atari
about what's
logo-
inside it later.
The Atari logo reminds you of Atari.
Does it
What
not?
a claim. What a bold claim.
Much like every effective logo.
Yeah, I dare you to dispute that.
Fucking getting
I don't-
away with
look,
it, meeting guy says.
I'm not like you. I don't want to say stuff on this podcast that's maybe going to enrage the listeners by being potentially, untrue or whatever.
Yeah.
Listen, guys, can I just bring this meeting just to really the crux of what I think we're trying to say here? I think we need a logo that reminds people of our company.
We need a logo that reminds people of the logo itself. It is pretty crazy that it has kind of taken them, because this whole nostalgia thing has been in full swing for quite a while now. It's kind of
probably
weird
ever.
that
Yeah.
it's taken them this long to kind of come out and go, hey, you know what? People are getting off on this whole Stranger Things kind of thing.
Yeah.
Why don't we just kind of go after that?
Yeah.
But yeah, so they've done it. They've just kind of gone, here's a pic of the outside of it. Jack your little dick over this.
Yep.
And then given no other information.
Yeah,
So there's a tiny bit, I don't know who said it, but someone, I assume from Atari, has said it will play Atari games.
It was either a guy from Atari or someone at a bus stop earlier.
Well, I don't know if it was Atari or if it was like Polygon speculating.
I can't remember if it's someone who works for the company who's making the product or literally anyone else in the world. So take this with a grain of salt.
But okay, so yeah, I don't remember the source.
I'm looking that up now.
Yeah, but what it's Atari games, and the quote that I saw was like current gaming content.
Yeah.
It has an SD card slot and apparently, like a bunch of stuff that, your Nintendo classics didn't have.
Yeah.
So it potentially is just like, what, a PC motherboard with a graphics chip and...
So this is from Kotaku. It says there was a design newsletter published online. There wasn't any mention of specific specs or what the kind of games Ataribox would play, or what kinds of games, the Ataribox would play. Although the newsletter did mention that there would be 2 editions, a black/red version and a wood version, and the console would come with an SD card slot, HDMI output, and 4 USB ports.
Right.
The images also show an Ethernet port at the back. So, which all of that just sounds like what a Raspberry Pi is.
Yeah.
So this seems like it's going to be an Atari fucking emulator.
Yeah. But then people were talking about would it just be like a Steam box and potentially, I mean, if you can, hack it or whatever and put whatever you want in there.
But it kind of sounds like it'll come pre-hacked. Like they're just going, here's the thing with a bunch of Atari games on it and a bunch of ports.
Yeah.
It also means that while this is from Atari, while we will be delivering classic game content, we will also be delivering current gaming content.
Okay.
So this is like a fucking Ouya type thing where it'll play Android games probably.
Yep. And
I'm surprised that Atari is still around with enough capacity to be getting something like this off the ground.
I don't think Atari themselves are actually making it.
I think this
that it's
is
been
like
licensed.
Yeah, this is like the 4th version of Atari that there's been.
Right,
at some
okay,
point.
yeah.
There was like Atari, then it died, then someone bought Atari, and I think that was like Midway or someone like that.
Yeah.
And then it died again, and then somebody else bought Atari, and now this is probably like,
Think of a funny one, quick.
No, I can't. I'm trying to think of the most boring one, and my brain's only coming up with funny ideas.
Yeah.
Like
Apple.
building, design, dull projects.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Someplace meeting guy would work for.
Yeah. Pro Tech Logic.
It'll have the word holdings at the end.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks really cool. Like as a piece of hardware, it looks great. The fact that you can get it in wood paneling, something about sliding an SD card into a bit of wood is delightful.
Now, Thomas.
Yes.
The language you've used there.
Yes.
It opens you up for a bit of ribbing.
Yeah, go on, guys. I can take
Speaking of
it.
ribbing, this is something that genuinely we are creating. We are creating a smooth design with ribs that flow seamlessly all around the body of the product. A front panel that can be either wood or glass.
It must be Trojan that bought them out then.
The way that they're like describing it, they're very clearly just going like, "This thing looks rad." It's such a strange thing to be hanging your hat on early.
It is the most bizarre announcement of literally just going, this is what it looks like.
That
but
is a
not-
huge amount of what people were interested in that NES classic, though.
Yeah.
Sure.
Is how it looked.
Like I don't own a Raspberry Pi. I don't even know what one looks like, but I know what this looks like.
I can tell
And
you
if
right
has-
now, it doesn't have ribs that flow seamlessly all around the body.
Oh baby, if a Raspberry Pi like came out with like a great, like if it was launched being like, hey, this looks really cool and it can do all this stuff and it's like $100, I probably would have bought one.
Yeah, it's just a weird thing where like it's a completely different business model to that, where the ones that have games on them are like made by secondary companies to them and all
Yeah,
this sort
right.
of shit.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
But
It
it does
seems
look
like it'll
cool.
capitalize on the thing that people thought, many people were disappointed in with the NES Mini, that it's just whatever's on there is on there and
Yeah.
you can't sort of do what you want with it,
Yeah,
which is very Nintendo.
I bet,
but,
this will be a thing where like there'll be a little bit of a wink on the back of the box going like, and if you break it apart, maybe put some other stuff on
Sure.
there. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it'll be kind of designed for you to do that and look cool.
But
Yeah.
I kind of like that. I like less and less playing games on my PC or my Mac. Like I really prefer now playing on a console on the couch. And sure, I can emulate every game from like the GameCube earlier on my Mac, but I'd rather do it on a console that looks nice and
Totally.
sit on my couch
Yeah.
and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can
Even
plug
though
a
I've got
computer into
a
TV,
controller
I
that
don't know
goes,
if you can.
Yes, you can. I've done it. I've seen a guy do it once in a dream.
even though I've got I've got really into, for a bit, emulating stuff on my laptop, and
Yep.
you can use a Wii U Pro controller like wirelessly.
Sure,
like
yeah,
through
yeah.
Bluetooth, you can get
Yeah.
a program.
Yeah.
But it's still just, something about and even though I can plug that into my TV and be doing all that, it's just something about, just turning on just a console that's there ready to go is still way more appealing. Even though I can technically do all the same stuff.
Yeah.
It's just that leap in your head of like...
No, totally. I know exactly what you mean. Like, hey, technically you can sleep in a bush.
Yeah.
Provides cover.
Yeah.
That's all you're looking for from somewhere to sleep.
Yep. It might be a little less convenient, but it technically still works.
You can, and also in a bush, you can do other stuff. You can watch movies
yeah.
too.
If someone's projecting them onto a cloud.
Yes, wonderful analogy. So that looks cool. Not much more to say about that, I guess. The other thing over the weekend, there was a footage of a new world that's in the Kingdom Hearts 3 game that has been, I think it got announced in E3 2014 or something, so it's been in the pipe for a while. But a Toy Story world, which looks really cool. I believe the director or someone who's kind of a higher up in the production has said ages ago that's his dream, is to have Toy Story in the game. And guess what, Ben? Dreams can come true.
Yay!
So it looks cool. They put out a little trailer for it.
Yep.
The characters kind of turn into little. They
Little
kind
blocky,
of have little
yeah.
blocky. Yeah.
It was weird hearing Japanese Woody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Japanese. All the others, they've done a pretty good job of. Japanese Donald is great.
Yeah, that was fucking nuts, actually.
Yeah.
Japanese Donald Duck, because he said, I can't do a Donald Duck impression.
Yeah.
It's one of the very few impressions I'm no good at. And-
very few.
But I like barely
Do
anyone
Jackie
can.
Chan.
That's the closest I can get to Donald Duck.
Oh, okay.
The hearing him just like speaking Japanese, because my brain's dumb, I immediately went like, wow, I can't believe that actor knows Japanese too. Because you'd imagine only one person's capable of doing Donald Duck.
Yeah.
really
Donald Duck
interesting
has existed for 100 years.
Really?
So it's probably been more than one. No.
Donald Duck.
Well, 80?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Like 20s, 30s?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is almost 100 years.
Back when he was made, he was called Donald the Mallard. It was a different time.
Okay,
They spoke like that.
Great. Really nice.
I often find when you go and you watch clips of cartoons that originate in the English-speaking world
Yep.
in other countries, they generally, I don't think, have been that concerned with getting voice actors who sound much like their English counterparts.
yeah.
Like if you watch clips of The Simpsons in other languages,
Yeah.
they don't really tend to have gone too much for it, which is why I thought it was so weird,
Well,
having
Homer-
never played a Kingdom Hearts game, that like Goofy and Donald sound so much like Goofy and Donald, just speaking Japanese.
Homer, they kind of give it a go.
Homer, they just kind of go for a big, dumb, oafish voice.
Just that in different languages, whatever.
But that would have been one of the first things to kind of have to do it. And you're also
Yeah.
probably putting it into a country where no one's seen the original, so it kind of doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Whereas
I
now
know they
people are a
have-
lot more...
Yeah, apparently, because I watched it in German class in German, because we were in high school and the teacher was like, "Oh, just watch The Simpsons, please. Just don't yell at me."
Das Simpsons.
And it didn't sound good. But we had German exchange students who were like, "We just watch it in English with German subtitles."
Yeah.
Or we just watch it in English because we can speak English because we're German, not
There's
dumb Americans.
Apparently, the German actor, I think it's a German actor, there's one guy who does all of Arnold Schwarzenegger's roles.
Oh, right.
So
yeah,
he whenever Arnold Schwarzenegger does a new movie, he shows up.
I think
Right.
that's pretty common, though.
Yeah, I don't know. But that's kind of a cool idea of having just like your equivalent actors.
Still a voice maintained across.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with
Speaking
someone
of,
like Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Speaking of John Lithgow earlier, I'm pretty sure it's him. There's a funny story about him when he did his parts in Shrek, and he watches it, and you know everyone's pretty psyched about it. They're like, "This is going to be a huge hit," and he gets all pumped, and they're like, "Yeah, we're doing this big press tour," and he's like, "Oh fuck yeah, I'm going to get flown around to all these places," and they're like, "No, you dumb fuck! It's not you. Like
Yeah,
you're the only place
right.
where it's you."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Nah,
He's very funny in Third Rock from the Sun.
man, he's great.
Yeah.
He's really great.
Great comedic actor.
He's my dad.
What?
So anyway, we have never
Is
played.
this the new I've got an uncle that works at Nintendo? My dad's John Lithgow.
My dad was in Cliffhanger.
Every kid at school had a dad who was John Lithgow. Yeah.
So none of us have ever played.
None
any
of us have ever
Kingdom
played it.
Hearts.
I'm
No.
keen to go in. It just seems like something that's going to take a lot of time.
Yes.
Pretty prohibitive to get into, although they did just recently re-release 1 and 2
And
1.5 and 2.5.
Yeah. There was a pack with
And
like 7 in it. Yeah.
2.8 as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is on the was on the PSN.
Well, I guess
by
that's the
itself.
thing I've found prohibitive is that I have a bit of a completionist kind of thing in me where I
Yeah.
kind of would feel like I'd have to do them all, and even all the little in between ones, which I kind
Yeah.
of don't want to do.
Also,
Yeah.
as an outsider, still, it's so fucking silly. It's so silly seeing like Donald Duck running up to someone with a big sword.
I love
going,
it.
Yeah,
Show
I
us
love it
where
as well. Yeah.
bloody elevator is.
I love it. That's
That's my Donald.
Is that the Japanese?
G'day.
Oh yeah,
Donald.
we weren't done talking about that. So that's the weird thing. Everyone else sounds very much like their English counterpart. And Woody, they've just gone, who gives a fuck?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just get some old man to just like talk in his normal voice.
But maybe he's
Yeah.
the Japanese Tom Hanks. Maybe
Oh,
he does.
that's interesting. Maybe that's some kind of deal.
Because Tom Hanks's brother does all of Tom Hanks's like voice work stuff on little things. So every like Woody toy is actually Tom Hanks's brother, like Dave
really?
Hanks or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and he just sounds the same. So he wanders up, gets a free paycheck. Well, not free. He has to say there's a snake in my boot.
Yeah.
Well, I will say that Japanese Buzz Lightyear sounds close to Tim Allen.
Yep.
Yeah. Do
Nice.
the anime Tim Allen grunt.
Did we talk about this yet? That after you did that on the show as part of a riff, anime Tim Allen, you then put it up on YouTube thinking it was
I couldn't stop thinking about
it was going to go viral, and it did. It just landed with an absolute thud.
Well, I don't know if I went into it thinking it was gonna like. I don't want to say that I thought I was going to conquer the world with it.
You put the effort in, so part of you,
Yeah.
even just in the back of your mind, if you were trying to temper that, you would have had high hopes for it.
Maybe. I definitely.
Look, you're going to come off better if you either go, I thought it was going to be viral, or you go, nah, shut up. If you go, no, I thought it would be all right, that's kind of the worst.
I thought I would get 33,333 views.
Okay.
And we've all been
Yeah.
there. You put the tweet out and you go, this is the one.
Yeah.
This is the one that propels me to the next level.
Yep.
And then you're looking at it the next day.
I am an egg. Finally, recognition.
Wow, not what I thought was going to come after I am, but sure. This is it. This is my masterpiece.
I'm interested in going and doing some of those Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
games.
I'd love to play this third one. It looks cool.
As
Yeah.
a group, I reckon we should do
Oh, okay.
maybe like a bit of a Kingdom Hearts fucking thing at some
Oh, yeah,
point.
that's not bad.
Oh, like a group
Yeah.
cosplay sex kind of thing?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Excellent.
It's so it's and also they've given it a admittedly extremely vague and probably will not happen launch window of
Yeah.
2018,
Yeah.
which I don't think they've done before. Like I think this is the first. It's not like they've missed a bunch of dates.
I
This is
feel-
the first time they've been close enough to be able to go. It's out next year.
I might be
Yeah.
wrong. They might have said like 2015 at some point.
Right.
And then really fucked off.
Well,
for
so
a
then I
while.
read an
Right.
interview with the director, whose name I cannot remember, but he basically, they sort of go, so, motherfucker, what's going on? What be going on with this Kingdom Hearts 3 shit?
Yeah.
And he just kind of throws Square Enix under the bus and goes, hey man, I'm ready to go. It's the fucking bigwigs upstairs.
Yeah, the marketing people, they want to build the hype train or something.
The way he tells it, I could be misquoting this, but he kind of makes it sound like.
What does he say?
Here's exactly what he says.
Okay.
Listen, cunts. Like his team kept getting shuffled around, and he's kind of saying,
Right.
"I need this many people," and they're like, "You can have this many," and then stuff. I think it was like Final Fantasy 15 kind of got reprioritized, so a lot of people left to go do that.
Sure.
So he's kind of like, yeah, it's if it was up to me, I requested all these people, and we could have done it in like a year.
Yeah.
But it's kind of been out of his hands for a little while now,
okay.
which I do like. Like, it's a pretty gnarly move just in and into. Like, surely you're in the back of your head going, got to toe the company line. He's just
Yeah.
like, nah, my boss is a cunt. They've just caught him on a bad day where he's just like happy to absolutely go
Yeah.
off.
He keeps showing up to these meetings and saying shit that we've already said in the meeting, but he just says, listen, guys, point of action before it, and everybody thinks he's clever for it, but he's not clever for it. It was my idea, and he's rephrased it.
No, but if you do it properly, no one's the wiser.
This guy is.
Or it's something like, I always love the idea in these interviews because they're generally. I mean, I read this on a English speaking website that had talked to him, presumably through a translator, although maybe not. I always like the idea that they've got a translator who's a bit shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like these.
Oh,
stories,
it's happened before. It's
Yeah.
happened previously this year.
Yeah. What was
There
the,
was that
'cause-
stream, that Nintendo thing. There was that one guy was like,
Yeah.
Well, he went off script.
yeah,
The
maybe.
Japanese guy went off script. So the guy translating him is sitting in a control room somewhere going, "Oh, fuck me, Dad,
Which
what is this?"
At the time, it did just look like it was a shit translator going like, I don't remember
I'd
the
actually
words.
forgot-
Still
forgotten that
technically a
second
shit
part.
translator if you can't sit there and listen to what the guy
But then
says.
I
also,
guess so.
but maybe he's got someone else in his ear going, he's off script, don't do it, don't say it because we don't want anyone.
Don't launch the missile. Don't
Yeah.
do it. Yeah.
Wouldn't it be great? And then so
He's
they,
just rephrasing what the last guy said, but he said point of action earlier. Just
that would
ignore
be-
it.
That would be great if that happens and it's like so he goes off script. The translator in his ear is being told, "Do not translate this. He's gone off script. Just leave it. Just
Saying
summon
the
up.
N-word
Look,
over and
I'm
over
sorry-
again."
Yeah, I'm sorry we have to throw you under the bus, but just we can't. And then they bring out a thing going, "Here's what he actually said," and they retranslate it when they re-upload it.
Oh, yeah.
But if it turned out what he actually did was just like talking about the size of his dick for like 5 minutes, and so all the English-speaking world, none of us know. It's only the Japanese who are watching live who knows a real story.
The Nintendo Switch might be portable, but you know what's barely portable? This huge dick that I'm working with.
He's just gone hard on the free champagne in the green room and just come out doing a bit of fucked improv.
No More Heroes 3. Fuck it. Put up a picture of the guy. What do you mean we're not making it?
I'm on OkCupid. Look me up. Knox, you had this written down that Titanfall. Bit of a glimpse behind the curtain there, guys. We write stuff down, and then other people in the group have a read of it.
Yep. A
Titan-
relatively new twist.
Titanfall
I'm
2.
not about it, honestly. I reckon we freeball this whole show.
Well, I mean, your approach to the group doc speaks volumes about your thoughts on it. But yeah. Titanfall 2 added a co-op mode.
Yeah, well, it's going to.
Oh.
They put out like an announcement trailer sort of thing. It's like a 4-player kind of horde mode kind of thing. It's free, and it's something that they're doing a bunch of stuff with this game that they never really said they were going to do, and they're just doing it because they like the game and
Yeah.
want to like. And this game is like fucking $20 now.
Yeah.
You can go and get it real cheap, and it's really fucking good. And this is like just another thing that'll work really well. The way the game plays is great. I'm glad that they're doing all this stuff to extend the life of it.
Yeah.
It's because you spoke very favorably, Jesus Christ, of it when it came out.
You looked like you were angry at me for you getting that word
No,
right.
that was all internal.
How dare you distract me while I'm trying to speak?
How dare you be favourable about things? You know how hard that is to say. Yeah, you were liked it at the time.
Yeah.
And then since then, I've heard a lot more people kind of chiming in on it, and it's been it's sitting on my list when
Yeah,
I get
same.
a bit of time.
It's
Yeah.
great.
But,
I reckon
yeah.
this would be a good because this is like a new thing as well, and it makes it have basically every kind of feature you could want to have out of a game like that, out of a shooter game sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's got a really good single player and like straight up competitive multiplayer now. And yeah, this is just another cool thing that they didn't.
So
need
this
to put
wasn't
in.
part of the thing
Yeah.
where they were like, "Hey, we're going to add this stuff in over time." They're just like,
They
"Oh,
said
people
they
are into
would-
this. We'll just do it."
Yeah, they said they were doing like new maps and stuff like that, and they've been doing that pretty consistently. But this is like a surprise to me at least.
It's just the best way to cut because, like, obviously the first game didn't do well. It wasn't a good game. It was pretty lacking in features. And then this one came out, and people just
the
didn't
basics
buy it.
of it were good.
Sure, yeah,
But,
but
yeah.
it didn't get a good reception. And then this one came out, and it was actually good, but not enough people bought it. So I guess they're just going like,
Yeah.
look, it's a good game. Everyone come
Yeah.
on and play it. We're supporting the community. And they're just
And it must
sticking
be-
around.
It must be fun as opposed to developing a game like, the start of it where, even if it's an established franchise or it's a sequel to something, you're still worrying, like, are people going to like this? But whereas developing DLC is just, like, the reason it's worth you doing it is because people already like it.
Yeah.
So it must be a lot more satisfying because you go, oh, man, we're seeing the tweets, we're seeing the online stuff, we know what people think about it, we know what people want more of. They are going to fucking like, it must be very satisfying to, like...
Yeah.
sort of work on that stuff as opposed to the in the dark nature of building the game
Yeah.
in the beginning.
It's interesting as like a business thing as well, though, because this is free. So
Yeah.
Right.
the people who they're going for with this aren't people who already have bought the game, sort of.
Yeah,
like they
which-
kind of are, but then also they're trying to build this thing for when they make a Titanfall 3.
I mean, I know that, the whole thing of it now is that, they're just competing against people buying a game and trading it in. And we've talked about this on the show before, this problem where a game ends up being bought, one copy of the same game ends up being bought 3 times over. So really, the money the revenue you're getting as the developer is only like a third of the number of people that have played it.
Yep.
But I mean, even if you just put out, it's all about just convincing people to like, hey, don't get rid of it. Like, there's new stuff coming.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I think
also,
it's not even about like needing to make the money off charging for the DLC.
Yeah.
I think most studios would probably find it preferable to just bring it out for free, but because it's all about, hey, no, if you want it, you're going to go and have to get a new copy. Like,
That
don't
makes
just
sense.
I
trade it
almost
in.
think it's more like the thing 20 years ago where a movie would kind of tank at the box office but become a hit on DVD.
Yeah.
Where this game probably like there was financial projections where like it probably didn't reach those in the first couple of weeks of sales.
It was weird because it came out in between Battlefield and Call of Duty, and so I remember it.
and
seeming
it
at
had the
time-
bad reputation of the previous one in this
or at
franchise.
least the smaller reputation. I
Yeah.
didn't find that first game bad, but it was certainly just.
I know that was the general feeling.
I just
Sure.
remember when you started talking about it on here, like I hadn't really heard anything about it at the time. Like it came along at like there was a lot of big stuff towards the end of last year, and it felt like like a lot of things do. It just suffered from sort of the time it came out. And,
by all reports, it's a great game, and so it just seems like word of mouth will help this
well,
out.
I'm sure that
So-
the fact that it's constantly like it's been cheap on the PlayStation Store for ages now. And I
Yep.
think that's another part of it is like
Yeah.
just trying to get people who've heard about it by now, or the person who's just like, oh, it's $20. Who gives a fuck? I'll just
Yeah.
give it a crack. Like
Yeah.
you can sort of
And
see that reflected.
this is just reminding people it exists.
Yeah. People definitely should too.
Yeah.
I reckon it's if you like shooters, like if you have always hated them forever, this won't change your mind.
It's an interesting thing with the whole, the DLC being a bit of a surprise. Like it kind of, you're not really expecting it, where, Nintendo have been doing this with like ARMS and Splatoon, sort of saying, hey, like with Splatoon, they've said, we're going to be adding stuff for 2 years. Like, so
And they proved it kind of with the first one.
with the first one,
They
but
did
it
do that.
launches with, it launches with a amount of stuff that's like fun or whatever. I mean, with the first one, people had a lot of issues about the amount of stuff, but and this happens. I mean, Capcom have been doing it with Street Fighter of like, no, we're going to add it all in. We're going to add it all in, and so sort of then there's a lot of pressure for it.
Yeah.
But there's also something to be said for it coming as like I remember when they did the Mario Kart 8 DLC on the Wii U, and also because Nintendo had never really done DLC before, it was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
We're getting new tracks. This is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
it kind of like I think now it's treated as like a bit of a given, like
Yep.
with most games.
Yep.
Well, and it even to the point where it stands out a bit when stuff like Battlefield and Call of Duty sticks to having and now pay us $70 more if you want to have the rest
Have
of
all the
it.
stuff. Yeah,
Because
yeah,
everything
yeah.
else, like Halo did it, and all sorts of other things that I can't remember off the top of my head, are doing this. Like, okay, you get everything for free,
Yeah.
and maybe you give us $2 for like this dumb costume if you want some point down the
Yeah.
line.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I think like I said before, I think the overall goal with doing it for the studio is just convince people to hang on to it.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, if you think that you've got a fan base that will pay you the money for it, at the same time, then great. But I think that's it's like
I guess that's-
let's just convince people to buy the game.
And
Like,
that's the incentive to make these digital discounts good as
Yeah.
well, because you can't trade it in if you buy it
yeah.
digitally.
Yep.
And the other thing is, if you're like the team that has to make DLC after the game's out is like way smaller than that. It's not as much time and money and whatever else.
There would be another team probably working on a Titanfall 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess
Alongside
this
all of this.
just helps that team. It's continuing the goodwill of
Rainbow
Titanfall 2.
Six Siege is another one that I hear it's been really well supported after being, and like is a really good game now that
Right.
wasn't particularly noticed at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's cool. Having games improve throughout their life.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's the opposite of me.
It's it's so funny to go back to listening to a certain podcast about the. Did I talk about this already? The 64 era of games. and what leads to speed running being possible, where
the bugs in the
games would launch broken
Yeah.
and too bad. Like
Yeah.
nothing can ever be done about it now. Like it's so crazy to think about. Yeah, like if you're the developer and it's like within a day, someone writes into a magazine and goes, "Hey, if you do a backflip here, you can go all the way to the end of the game," and
Yeah.
watching it and going, fuck!
Yeah.
I forgot to do a backflip at the very start of the game to test it."
I was just wondering, did you notice you put Lincoln arseless chaps? God damn it! I knew I'd
Wait,
forgotten
the
something.
truck's just gone out. Come back.
I knew I had this string around my finger for a reason.
So, boys, as we mentioned at the top of the episode,
What
this
do you
week-
want?
As we mentioned at the top of the episode,
Yeah.
the very top, we start recording at the 5th floor and we move our way down to the ground. And now we're halfway to the ground. So this is
we
where...
have 5 basements.
Yes, your mum has 5 basements. This episode is brought to you, the listener, by Loot Crate. Our good buddies at Loot Crate are back again, and boy, are they angry. I couldn't think of
And
any
this
other...
time, it's personal. That's right. They sent us each a loot crate. Mine was all themed about people called Tommy. So I had Tommy Pickles from the Rugrats.
Yep.
I had the Who album in there.
Yeah.
Quadrophenia, yep.
Some great albums produced by the great Tommy Emmanuel.
Okay.
I had
Tom and Jerry on the...
Wait, Tommy Mottola, who was the head of
yeah.
Sony, like in the 90s, I think.
Did they send you like his shoes? What did they send you of what?
Just stuff that because he was the head of a record label,
stuff.
so just bands that he signed.
labels.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tom and Jerry.
Yeah.
Knox, you got the Book of Genesis.
Yeah, I'm
Oh, yeah.
extremely into the Mega Drive, and so the Book of Mega Drive it was called over here.
Oh, great,
Oh, yeah,
great,
really nice.
real good. All right, you're out.
I don't think they'll do personalized.
Ben 10.
Yeah, Ben 10. Ben
Ben and Jerry's, heaps of ice cream.
Oh, yeah.
You're really winning out of this.
They
Yeah.
definitely don't send foodstuffs through the.
No, this was the personalised ones for us, the ambassadors of Loot Crate. But no, if you do sign up to it in the coming month, you'll get something Kingdom themed.
Oh,
Which-
the keys too.
Yeah. That was a board game. Do you
Keys
remember
to the
that?
Kingdom.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
It was a fucking great board game. Not in this. So,
You'll get a beta copy of Kingdom Hearts 3 that we were just talking about.
Ben,
Wow,
let me ask
huge
you a
exclusive.
question.
Yeah?
I've just started listening to this podcast. What the fuck is Loot Crate?
oh, well, are you on the quest for epic gear, housewares, and collectibles?
Why do you think I started listening to this podcast?
Yeah, well, Loot Crate has it.
Finally, I'll stop listening.
Yeah, Loot Crate is the best surprise you know is coming. Now, what does that mean? It means that you sign up for Loot Crate, and at some point every month, they send you a Loot Crate. So,
Okay.
in a way, in the back of your mind, you know it's going to come, but you don't know what day and in what form.
That's true of most male, really.
Yeah, and female.
Yeah,
Even more mysterious, if anything.
that's great. The woke postman. Okay, so here's your male or female.
I like it. We should do a sketch about that. So, Loot Crate.
Here's your package, or vagina.
Loot Crate offers you an epic range of pop culture items for less than $20 a month. So it's a little cardboard box with a nice design on the inside filled with cool things.
Sort of there was a Rocket League ball in the last one.
I've been throwing it against the wall and catching it.
My dog fucking loves it.
You don't have a dog?
Well, my parents' dog.
Oh, well, be specific next time, please, before you bamboozle me.
No, she's still my dog, though. My dog.
Is this a dog?
Talking
Is this a dog that you grew up with, like childhood
No.
dog?
She's only about 4 now. I
Okay,
think.
so that your parents got her since you've moved out.
Yeah. There was
Not
a bit
your
of a-
dog, bro.
Yeah, not your dog,
Not
bro.
your
I
dog.
was in the car.
Not my
when
president
we went
dog.
To pick her up.
If your parents break up and your dad gets a new girlfriend and then you go around there, it's not your
That's my
girlfriend.
mum.
It's not your girlfriend.
No, but I'd call her mum.
Would you really?
I don't know.
Do you call your
Hopefully it
mum your
doesn't come up.
girlfriend? Oh, my God. So
She's a good dog. She loves that little fucking ball.
She's a good dog.
What kind of breed?
Cocker spaniel.
Nice.
Yeah.
What's her
Very
name?
nice.
Tommy. No, it's
Yeah, no, if you have a pet at home, you can get Loot Crate for pets. That's one of the options you can get.
Wait.
Oh, wow. I thought you were doing a bit that is literally on here.
Yeah, that's
That is-
genuinely true.
That is
By the
wild.
way, I just realized I'm going to bleep out the name of my dog because that is the answer to some password questions.
Oh, man. You know what?
You shouldn't have mentioned it.
I was going to make a joke about you being so fucking scared about naming your dog on the air and not wanting to do it, and you actually are.
It's for my attorney told me don't release any more personal information.
Oh, great.
Oh, boy.
Because he's
Okay,
sick
well-
of people showing up to his house that I know.
Leave all this in. Just literally bleep it. I want
Yeah.
people to hear. I want people to know this about you.
Yeah. So you can literally get Loot Pets. You can get Loot Gaming, which is particularly relevant to our listeners and ourselves.
Bit of a long bow there, but sure.
All right. Each month's theme expires on the 19th of that month. So for Kingdom, you got to get it before August 19th. That's basically it. So in Kingdom, you'll get stuff from The Legend of Zelda,
I like that series.
God, stop going on about Nintendo.
Adventure Time. I like that series.
Great show.
The Lord of the Rings.
Indifferent to it.
Really like it a lot.
I used to like it and I don't care anymore.
One lucky subscriber will also receive the Mega Crate, which we mentioned the last time we did an ad for this. It's a console. It's something really good.
Some kind of big boy.
Some kind of big boy. So if you want to sign up, and I suggest you do, go to lootcrate.com/filthycasuals and enter filthycasuals as the promo code, and you'll get $3 off any new subscription today. Now, if you just have been thinking about getting Loot Crate, please use our promo code because it helps us.
It helps
It's-
us. You
it's-
save $3. You'd be a fucking moron not to do it.
So, on that note, let's return to our regular scheduled programming.
Splatoon 2, baby.
Now,
Do you know what
Knox-
clever name I call it?
What?
Splatoon.
Nice. Now, you've decided to lay down on my couch. I don't like the dynamic that this creates because I feel like you shrink, and I already feel like that enough of the time.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like I'm
Chicken
comfy.
tonight.
Can I tell this?
sit back
I
up.
had to counsel you through you turning up at my house, you riding a Razor scooter up to my door. This is what happens. This is what happens.
Yes.
I answer the door. There's no one there, and he normally does some little. He's normally hiding. He does.
He's
some
got a bit
little
of shtick.
All of a sudden, this absolute madman comes gliding past me. What did you say? You said like.
What's up, my dude? And
So you're on a Razor scooter. This is true.
I got off the bus, and on top of the bus stop, there was a handle hanging over, and I noticed that there was a scooter on top of the bus.
Right, which
roof.
a primary school child has put there to get after they come back from school.
Too short. It would have been a kid being bullied.
To chains.
Maybe someone threw it on there.
Well, no, this is what
so
happens. So you come into my house riding a Razor scooter, and you go, I don't know. I'm like, did you? What's going on here? And you go, I took this off a bus stop, and I go, okay, you probably should have left it there. And you go, yeah, maybe, but I've already written a sketch that has it in it.
in my head, but
In your head.
Yeah, I didn't write it down,
No.
but I genuinely just kind of thought of it like hard rubbish because I
Yeah.
often see like a little fan or an old TV or something on Tommy's
Yeah,
Road
or a
when I'm
working
coming
Razor
up here.
scooter at a bus stop.
It was it really felt like it had been thrown away.
Did it work?
It was a little rusty.
Did it work?
It not well. I didn't write it
Tommy?
heaps.
By the way, guys, it's hard rubbish day on this street tomorrow. Can you help me put all my old junk up on the roof so that they know to come
well,
get
I
it?
went and took it back.
Yeah, so this is the thing.
It's
so
back
then,
there.
and then it very much frustrated me that you weren't here to see this bit because we would have had a field day together. There was then a 5-minute process where I had to deal with talking Knox through the guilt of because the theory that we both agree on is a kid he's been bullied, he's been chased or something, and some bullies have thrown it up on the roof of the bus stop.
Maybe, but that's pretty fucking 90s. I don't reckon that happened.
Well, you're singing a very different tune now.
I reckon some fucking idiot threw it up there because they didn't want it. But
I cannot imagine a world in which that would happen.
here's why. Because they had taken it off of someone earlier last night and they were drunk or something.
Well, what you couldn't
They'd
resolve in your
taken a
head...
scooter off of someone's front porch.
You couldn't
right?
handle the potential guilt of sitting here and knowing that, let's say that potentially
If someone went back and got it,
if this kid, if he's been
Yeah.
bullied, he goes back with his dad, and
Yep.
it's then just not there.
Yeah.
You couldn't reconcile that within
if
yourself.
somehow that wasn't a discarded scooter,
Yes.
that was a deliberately placed, I'm going to hide it in the sneakiest place in the world, visible in the street.
So you then decide in your head, I've got to go take this back.
Yeah.
That's the right thing to do. I agree. Then there's another 5 minutes where you're trying to talk me into coming with you, which I don't
yeah.
want to do. I have
What
no
if
horse
the
in this
dad was
race.
there and he beat me up?
He's not joking.
Tommy's going to save you.
He's not joking. That was a legitimate concern.
I took the scooter back. I lent it against the side of the bus stop.
Nice.
Instead, so if it was a kid, he could just grab it.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know.
But then, so 5 minutes later, there's a knock on the door again, and I answer it, and you're back, empty-handed, and
Yeah.
within about 10 seconds, you're in the door, and you're like, "Fuck, I shouldn't have taken the scooter back. I wish I still had the scooter."
Did I say that? I don't remember saying that.
You immediately regretted taking it back.
Well-
Was it because you were remembering how good the sketch was in your head?
No, I just feel every feeling at all times. So I was just feeling that a bit, but also feeling happy I took it back.
Yeah. Well, we'll never know. I mean, this is the thing. I would love to know because odds are it's just someone else has just taken it.
I'm sure someone
Yeah.
just got sick of it and threw it up there. I
don't know
think
if
there's
you
some.
throw it up onto a bus shelter.
Yeah,
though.
because you go like, "Wow, I'm being dumb." Someone who owns a scooter in this day and age is the sort of person who's flinging shit around.
This is what's great about it, though, is that the roof of the bus stop just adds this. If it was just, on the side of the road, you'd go. There's infinitely just less questions. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? The fact that it's on the roof of a bus stop.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a great detail.
Because that is clearly purposeful.
Yes.
Whether
Well-
it's a bully
Yes.
or
Or-
someone like saving it for later.
Or it's a very discarded scooter.
What? Someone's thrown it out of a plane?
No, just like someone's, because it wasn't chucked up there carefully. Someone's fucking mucking around on it, and they go, "Bah, bah, imagine being this funny."
I don't think you can chuck it up there
Someone's done-
haphazardly because it'll smash the bus shelter.
I think they didn't give a shit about that.
Someone's done the ultimate kickflip, and it's just landed up there, and then they can't get.
There
it
was
down.
also a person screaming for help up there. Do you reckon that was related?
We should take the portable recorder down there after this and see if it's
Yeah.
still there. So Splatoon 2.
We don't have time.
Splatoon 2 is it's out on the Switch this Friday. Yes, I got an advanced copy, which is cool. However, none of the online stuff is functional yet until the
Yep.
game goes live on Friday, which seems a little weird, but kind of also makes sense. So, yeah, all I've been able to do is play the single-player mode in it, which, yeah, it feels weird to review because, that's not what people are coming to the party
Yeah,
for.
that
But,
was part of that game. Sort
but
of.
yeah, so we had a few questions come through on the Facebook there. One guy...
Well, and just if we're going to talk about it broadly, I played a bunch of it on Sunday too.
yes, they did
because
they did a
public,
timed Splatfest
Yes.
thing. Yeah.
Splatfest.
and so what's wrong with the word Splatfest?
That reminds me of something else.
It's a portmanteau of splat and festival. the one. So I.
All right, hopefully they call the next one the Splat Khaki, so you won't have any qualms about that.
That's all I want.
The that went for like 4 hours. It was a public thing. It was free.
Yeah. Did you play it for 4 hours?
I played it for most of it.
Right.
I went back and forth. I was at my parents' house and played it with my brother because he likes Splatoon as well.
Yeah, and then you got on the
doesn't have a
train and
Switch.
you spent an hour on the train and then you played it for another hour and a half?
No.
Well, then how did you play it back and forth?
Oh, fucking you. I'm so sick of this line of questioning. Not in that fashion. Swapping the controller back and forth, mate.
Could you? Oh, so you and your brother weren't online at the same time? No, Okay,
you
right.
couldn't. I don't
Yeah.
think on the one
Right.
the one console.
Right.
Yeah, I played like 2 quick rounds of it, and yeah, liked it. Like I kind of woke up really late, and I kind of only had like half an hour, so I just did two little
Yeah.
goes of it. But
It's
yeah,
cool. It's very similar to the first one.
It is. So this is what people have asked: is that is it a sequel or does it just feel like 1.5? And so it's kind of it's such a weird position to be in for a company making a sequel where the first one was on a console that was already on the way, pretty much on the way. Like it was already a flop,
Yeah.
basically by that point.
Yep.
So no one played the original, but those who did really liked it.
Yeah.
So you know that you've got a commodity, like a property that people do like and want to see more of and will get into.
Yeah.
But I would say of people playing this on the Switch, probably at least half of them would never have played the original. At least.
Definitely. I mean, that's been the case with like Mario Kart and
Yeah,
stuff. That's
totally.
been
Totally. So it's weird in the sense that I mean, the first one, I thought it came out in 2014. It came out in 2015. It came out
Right.
May 2015. So, only just over 2 years ago, which is
Right.
really not that long ago at all.
Yeah.
And it feels like, to me, it does feel like a sequel, but it feels like a sequel in that real kind of like 90s kind of Super Nintendo sense of it, where something would come out and be popular and development time was way quicker. So it was just within a year it would be like, hey, let's just get another one of these
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
A few new characters, little bit more going on. Whereas now it feels like you don't really get these true sequels where it's like everything is like a new iteration.
Yeah.
Like the Grand Theft Autos are all numbered, but it's like they start from scratch and each new Grand Theft Auto is trying to now be the next new biggest thing. Like
Yeah.
it's not so much addressing like, hey, here's all this stuff carried over and, it's like the colours are a bit different and whatever.
Sure, it's like, they're making it for a new console and it's literally completely different.
Yeah, totally.
You could sort of make the equivalent, make a comparison between this and like the Call of Duty games a bit.
Yeah.
They come out every year. The
Yep.
multiplayer is basically what people are there for, and it's roughly similar.
But again,
Assassin's Creed, I guess.
Yeah.
But again, I
Yeah.
never I guess my point is like the scale of things is so big now that when stuff gets they just feel like new iterations of this same thing. They don't feel like they're directly following on from the thing before. Does that make sense?
Sure,
Yeah.
I think I see what you mean, but this doesn't feel like that either. That it's following on to me.
Yeah, I mean it does. It is.
It feels like the same game
Yeah.
with some new stuff.
Yeah, but my point is
Yeah.
that's how sequels kind of just used to feel. Like they weren't. Like there were just little tweaks here.
I
and
guess
there.
so.
Like they
Or they were
weren't-
like fucked up different, like Zelda 2 or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I guess.
But
Yeah.
so yeah, I guess the short.
What's an
answer
example
is,
of that? Because I'm trying to think now, like,
Banjo Tooie, I guess, that
yeah,
sort of thing.
kind
Right,
of,
okay.
Kind of. I mean, like real SNES era, and I don't even mean like big mainline games. I mean smaller franchise.
Right.
Yeah.
This is a terrible example, but this is the kind of thing I'm talking about. Like Bubsy and then Bubsy 2. It's
Right.
like, okay, cool. Just make
Yeah.
another thing with this.
The Crash
Right.
Bandicoot games.
Totally.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I guess it's like it's just a very childhood thing where it's like,
Yeah, I guess
quick, get a new one out.
Sonic was probably like
Yeah,
that. The
Sonic
first
was
couple,
probably a bit like that.
'Cause,
Yeah.
the first thing I thought of was Mario, and it's like, they're mostly completely different. But
On
That's the thing,
PC.
Mario Kart, I don't think of it's like this where it's like this line where it's like, this is the 8th Mario Kart. It's like, no, this is the new Mario Kart on this console.
Yeah.
in the
and
same way
Doom
that Call of
2.
Duty feels
Yeah.
like, this is the Call of Duty for this year. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
And this is
Yeah.
the Splatoon for the Switch.
yeah.
But it's also kind of the Splatoon for the Wii U.
Yeah, totally.
Well, yeah, but this is that game. It is the equivalent of Mario Kart DX.
But this is
Yeah.
what I'm saying. It's a weird. It's a weird.
Wait, no, it wasn't called that. What's it called? Deluxe.
Mario Kart 8
Deluxe,
Deluxe.
yeah.
It's a weird position to be in where, yeah, if more people had had a Wii U, well, then the demand would probably be, but they know
Yeah.
they can, like, they've got to make it feel like not prohibitive to anyone brand new to it, but
Yeah.
also put a bit of fan service in there for people who liked the original.
Yeah.
Well, and so all the stuff like the new maps, there weren't that. There was one that was from the old game. There were a rotation of 4 on Sunday.
Yeah.
One was from Splatoon 1. The other 3 were new. They were all pretty cool.
Yeah, so my initial thing, just talking very broadly about the look of it, was when the first one was coming out, I wasn't that keen on it. Like, I just thought that the kind of the color palette and everything all sort of, and the environments looked a little bit drab, which when you play it, you realize that because it's all needing to see how much ink each team
Yeah.
has, the environments have to be very plain to make that stand out.
Yeah. Well, so if it came out in May of 2015, we played it in, I think, June of 2015 in Japan.
Yeah.
Which means that, you wouldn't have bought it for at least a month.
Yeah, I didn't get it because we were about to go away. I think I got it not long after we got back.
Right, and we played it once, and it was like, this is cool.
Yeah,
This is cool.
yeah.
I think it feels like it is a game that you have to play before you go,
Yeah.
before you can know if you like it or not.
And so even though like I kind of let it off the hook for not loving the the complexity of the environments and stuff in the first one, which they obviously are still working with here, but I think you can just see them pushing it a little bit harder and sort of going like, okay, we still the overall color of the level has to be very muted so that the neon tones of the ink stands out, but they are still doing a lot more interesting stuff with the palettes and the environments. And I think the towers was one of the levels that I played.
It looks really nice.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
like it's a lot sharper.
Yeah.
It runs really smoothly and all of that.
It's like a Mario Kart 8 Deluxe or ARMS. Like all of the surface level stuff looks beautiful.
Yeah, and it's like a really crisp, cartoony looking, Nintendo-y looking sort of thing.
Yeah.
Which it just looks really clean and nice.
What I think is really interesting about the first one, and it's
That
back.
sounded creepy.
she puts the lotion on the skin.
One of the things I loved about the first one was, for most multiplayer online-based things, it's just like, who cares? You're just playing online. Like, I mean, the Uncharted games are a good example where they have a story, but then when you're playing online or you're playing, the multiplayer, it's just like, whatever. These characters from the main game, they're just on an island trying to kill each other.
Yeah.
And
You're
they can...
a fucking soldier.
But this, I kind of always really liked about Splatoon that they kind of had this whole kind of lore to the whole world that sets up and explains why these kids run around shooting each other.
Yeah.
Like, I always thought that was cool that they, as it's not going to win any awards for its writing, but I always appreciated that was there. Like,
And
it's a very
just-
Nintendo point of difference. To
Even
try
on a
and make.
very shallow level, it's just got a really like constant fun personality to it.
Well, there's not really a menu screen, so there's like a hub world, which is where you go and pick, which bit of the game that you want to play.
Like
which
Crash Bandicoot 2.
Yes, which I loved.
Yeah.
So I think that all of that stuff is back and great. The music is another thing that I've been loving about
Music
it.
is fantastic.
It's fucking rad.
I mean,
Yeah.
I loved the music in the first one.
That little noise, whatever MIDI fucking synth sample, whatever that bow 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 bow.
Yeah.
I fucking love that noise.
Yeah.
I got so hooked on the lobby music in the first one that when they did the first splat fire thing that they did, or test fire thing that they did, which is a few months ago now, going into the loading screen for that and the music being different, like a little part of me was like, oh, but then you sort of like the music, even though it's changed, has cues from the original one that kind of threat. And this is what I mean about it really feeling like sequely in the terms that it, like old school sequely, where that was like a very much a thing of that, where you'd keep these little hallmarks and kind of expand upon them.
The Lost World, Jurassic Park.
Yes, definitely. Great example. But the music is, and you can look up.
That's the music from Splatoon, right?
Yes. Oh, Jurassic Park DLC for Splatoon would be great.
Oh, yeah.
But you can look this up from the first one. I assume they'll put them up for the second one as well. But like all the tracks are like full band, and you can.
Yeah.
They've got videos of the band playing them, which is great because it's people who are very, very skilled at the instruments that they're playing, absolutely shredding and going sick on the drums, looking like they're waiting for the bus.
Yep.
Like absolutely no enthusiasm on their faces whatsoever. But yeah, the music is really great and deserves special. And like, just the whole aesthetic of it being this really kind of streetwear, kind of focused and kind of like real kind of pop, which sounds weird to say, but is like a very Japanese thing, like very Japanese skater kind of cool
It's like
teen
Jet Set
kind of
Radio.
thing. Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
So, the single player was something in the original that I really liked. It did feel a little kind of, just a bit of a trumped up tutorial. It was fun, but I did really enjoy it, and I definitely thought that's the main thing I would love to see kind of refined and done a bit more with
expanded on, yeah.
And so far, I mean, I'm into like World 2 now, or World 3. It's it's great. Like I've really been enjoying it. All the things that I would have said about the first one, like, oh, I really want them to do more of this. They've done, like, the mechanics are sort of a bit less about the shooting, and they've got these, like, there's a lot of, like, rail grinding. Rail grinding is back and expanded on from the first one. There's, like, all these little different, these, like, boost pads and just all these little things that you hit and trigger that, like, propel you around, and these little kind of mechanics are kind of at the forefront in the way that makes bits of it feel kind of more like sort of Tony Hawk or even Jet Set Radio. This kind of...
kind of like a strange platformer hybrid thing.
I think it deserves a lot of credit for taking this, like the core of it is the online multiplayer. That's what the game is.
Yeah.
So and make no mistake of that. Like it's very clear. in all of its presentation that's what it is. But I think it's pretty impressive that they managed to take that and the mechanics of that and make it work in the context of being a platformer.
Right.
Well,
Like-
because the multiplayer isn't a shooter in the same way that you would think of
Yeah.
an online shooter as being. Like, it is mainly based around movement,
Yeah.
and about like map control and shit. Like, you want to keep people from getting to your, it's
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
The goal is very different to a normal shooter of just like be the quickest and shoot this person.
Sure, and
Totally.
it's very Nintendo to not have the focus be like to shoot the other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's non-violent, basically.
yeah, and
You can shooting other people kind of just takes them out of the map for a bit. Like there's not
You need
really
to do
that
it from
much.
time
You
to
do need to
time.
do it, but
Yeah,
it's not.
but also
yeah.
like kind of the focus is to cover everything with ink. which
Exactly.
is-
The
yeah.
worst
Yeah.
thing about being shot isn't like, oh no, my points. It's oh fuck,
I gotta go
There's
back to the
different
start.
type of points.
Yes.
But
That's
yeah,
a great point you made.
Oh well, splat you very much. And the Splatfest thing is for, I never did any of the ones in the original game, but it's a really cool little way of just making people play at the same time. Of like, I was team cake. It was
Yeah.
cake versus ice cream,
Right,
And
yeah.
I chose cake because cake means ass.
I chose ice cream because it
Yeah.
means a big old dick, and ice cream fucking flogged cake.
Yeah, ice cream won.
Yeah. But so yeah, I've been really enjoying it. Like I said, it's totally everything I would have expanded upon from the first one,
Yep.
and all these different things being at the forefront. The boss design, I've only done 2 of them so far, but the boss design is up there with some of the best.
Yeah,
like
cool.
really, really interesting.
I didn't even think that there would be bosses.
And
It was
again,
like-
just the way that it's like basically very platformery, but they've got these mechanics. So, one main thing that's new is in the first one, you just kind of had your very standard gun
Yep.
for the whole single player thing. In this one, you unlock a big range of them,
Right.
And and the incentive to kind of go back and you can pick. You can. Yeah, there's on the little stats screen, it's got which weapon you finished each level with.
Oh, yeah.
So there's kind of incentive to go back and kind of like do all the levels with all the different guns, which is
Yep.
going to completely change kind of how you go through it.
Right.
I think the first time you go through the level, the little guy comes through and he's like, no, I want you to use this one. Like you kind of have to use a set one
Mm-hmm.
for the first time that you go through. But yeah, that's kind of a new thing. And so,
Apparently those unlockings don't translate to multiplayer. I
no,
read.
none of that carries over,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is kind of a shame, but I get, again, I guess
The
they just
multiplayer
want
has to be its own progression, I
it's
guess, yeah.
It's its own thing.
That's
yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
normal as
It's
well.
got
You
its
would
own
expect that
currency
from
and
any other
everything. Yeah.
shooter.
Yeah.
But yeah, the boss design, and just like I said, translating this thing that has been set up to just be this one mode of like turf war
Yep.
and make it work in the context of these big, very video gamey, very Mario-y bosses I think is pretty cool. I mean, there's bits where the course design feels like it's up there with some of the best 3D Mario games.
Yeah, right.
But you have a gun and you can swim around and it just kind of changes the mechanic. So yeah, I mean, I'm really loving it. I'm biased because that was like kind of one of my favorite bits of the first one. I would hope that they do, given that they've said they're going to be releasing DLC kind of over the next couple of years, I really hope that the single player factors in.
Yeah.
Because my one thing about this game is, and I wonder if this will be an issue to people or not, that in terms of once you finish the single player, if you're offline, there's going to be nothing for you to do. So you can't play multiplayer on the one console. You also can't just go on and set up a match with bots to play against.
Yeah.
Which
That
I
salmon
think
run mode you can do with 2 people on the one. And salmon run is like a horde mode type of thing.
Right.
You can do it with 2 people on the one Switch together.
can you?
Yes,
I don't reckon
I think you can.
I don't think that you can.
Maybe I'm.
I don't think you can do
mental.
anything with 2 people on the one Switch.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Which I think is a huge
don't
missed
remember.
opportunity, especially for the nature of the Switch being, what it is, being a handheld and
Yeah.
being, you're going to use it on a flight where you don't have the internet.
Yeah.
I just think is a huge shame. But I kind of get it from their point of view where their big thing with the Switch is it's a console. It's not a handheld.
Yep.
It's a console. I guess the thing of not being able to set up your own little dummy matches with just bots is like they want to make sure that the servers online are always full. So if they give you an option of just
Yeah.
sitting on the couch and not using that, then people are going to probably use that. But
I mean,
it just,
this is like their flagship thing for their whole multiplayer service,
Yeah.
which they're soon expecting us to pay for.
Yep.
That phone app kind of launched already, but you can't actually use it.
it's up, but you can't get on it because
I think that's like a Apple and Google Play Store thing where it's like you got to submit the app in advance
Right.
anyway, and they
Yeah.
just
All that stuff is so weird, and I hate it from the point of view of someone who likes to go back to games that are 10 years old sometimes.
Same,
you know?
Yeah.
And
Well, like I said, I mean, I wanted to really go into it for the sake of being able to talk about it on this, and it's great to get it early and be able to have it on the show before it's come out, so you
Yep.
get a bit of an early take on it. But yeah, I mean, that's the only thing I can do on it until Friday, and it's also the only mode that you can play if you're offline, and I have a long flight next week.
Yeah.
So I kind of was like, if this is all I can do offline, I kind of don't want to. I mean, and it is a shame where I'll get to the point, and I'm enjoying the single player so much that I think it will be one of those things where I will go through all the levels and really want to get all the little hidden things that are in it, of which there are a few, and clearing it with all the different weapons, which is going to be different each time you go through. But there'll be a point where I've done all that, and I'm somewhere where I don't have internet, and it's like, oh well, this game just may as well not be on my system.
It's strange. It's strange.
Kind of a shame.
Yeah, it's strange that they would be so good about that stuff with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe
Yes.
and ARMS.
Yeah.
And then just for Splatoon 2, just be like,
Yeah.
no, we just want to sell a bunch of copies of this, sorry. Like,
I don't know. I wonder if they'll patch it in or whatever. Or I strongly suspect that. I reckon what will probably happen, because there's not much has really changed, save from a few little, like I said, graphical upgrades here and there.
Yeah.
The single player feels a bit more considered this time.
Yep.
But apart from that, from what I've heard of the multiplayer, it is just more of the same, which everyone's fine with for now.
Yep.
Because everyone gets the situation of it. Given how early it's coming out in the lifespan of the Switch, I'd say 2-3 years' time we get a third one that is a huge overhaul,
Sure.
that has all these kind of things
Maybe.
addressed and considered.
well, and the way they updated that first one with a bunch of new stuff, so maybe they do that with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it is coming in.
Yeah.
I will say, like, the one thing that I noticed about the Splatfest, which I was glad to see, a big complaint I had of the first one was they had all these mechanics in the single player mode, like the little rails that you transport yourself along, which just weren't in the multiplayer. And I just thought they were so fun to go around on.
Yeah.
The rails, at the very least, are in the multiplayer this time around.
Even in the old maps, they've chucked them in.
Oh, have they really?
On the one with the two towers, they've got some rails in it now.
Right.
Twin Towers, you could say.
I would say 2.
Okay, sure.
Lord of the Rings.
Tomato,
Yeah.
tomato.
Loot Crate, this month.
I haven't played enough of the Splatfest to see all these other new ones that they've introduced in the single player. I hope a lot of them are in there, because there's ones where there's this little kind of like rolled up, almost like a rolled up carpet, and if you hit it, it just like springs out a certain distance and kind of covers a whole trajectory in paint. It knocks
right.
out anyone who's in its way.
Right.
And then it recoils after a certain point. So,
Okay.
yeah.
In the maps that I saw, which was the 4 that they had, there wasn't any of that. There wasn't the speed up ramps either.
Okay,
So that doesn't mean they're not in any of them.
But maybe that'll be coming, yeah.
Maybe they wouldn't show them in the ones that they're doing at this pre-launch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, who knows? I mean, and like like with the first one, they ended up putting so much extra content and stuff in it. The new gun that I've used in the dual guns, where you can roll around and stuff while you're using them. Again, coming from playing the first one a lot, feels that's like a welcome addition. Feels different enough. Feels good. The controls as precise as they were in the first one. Just dipping into the ink and swimming around just feels good. Even if
Yeah.
you're not doing anything, just that fluidity. And it's easy if something works really well to sort of take it for granted a bit, because a mechanic like that could very easily have just been, if that didn't feel that precise, could have just been dog shit, and the whole thing hinges on that. you know? But yeah, I think the slight bit of motion control that you can have on, where you can sort of use it to aim a little bit extra. You guys played it for a bit before, and you can adjust the sensitivity, which I've kind of done and gotten it down to just what feels kind of perfect for me.
Yeah.
One really cool feature is you change the sensitivity of all the settings, and there's separate menu categories for when you've got it in handheld mode and when you've got it in the controller.
Yeah,
So that's
have
kind of cool. You don't
the-
have to adjust it every time you
Yeah.
take it out of the dock, which I think is a cool little thing.
Yeah.
I hated the vertical aiming not being on the right stick by default in the first
Yeah.
one and this one.
Yeah.
But you can change
You
it if
can
you want.
turn that on,
The
yeah.
one
Right.
other thing as well, in the first one, you had the map there at all times on the Wii U
Yes,
thing.
that is. I mean, that was one of the few games where you went, "Oh, this is like what's great about the gamepad."
Right.
So a big part of it when you, so you kind of when you're in multiplayer, it really helps you to be able to see how much terrain you've
Exactly
got, all
which
the
And where you need to
areas-
go and
where you need to
yeah.
go.
Yeah.
And so having that just a quick glance at all times was really helpful. And then when you died, when you respawn, you can like super jump to anyone on your team. So you'd die and then you'd look down at your screen
Yeah.
and you'd be like, okay, he's over there and he's in an area where he needs help. I'll go to him.
Yeah.
Which now has to be done with a button press, which is, I mean, what do you do? But
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
It was one of the few things where it's like, oh yeah, the gamepad, when used properly, is
Yeah.
actually has great.
And it's just a little, it's like, it really isn't a big deal. You just hit X and it's
and it
there.
comes up. Yeah.
But it just makes you. It's weird that it's not in the top left corner or something.
Yeah.
Just a little
Yeah.
thing of
Yeah.
how much color is where. But
Yep.
you know,
But it just
Yeah.
playing it with a proper controller too, because as much as the gamepad was cool for being able to see all that stuff, having to play it on that big bulky controller,
It felt weird.
I
Yeah.
never loved, and even just zipping around this with the Pro controller, which is so good.
and the motion controls were much worse because of that.
Yes,
as well
definitely,
in the previous
definitely.
one.
It all. I
And
mean,
they do. I've felt this a lot more when you can set it up yourself. It does help with precise aiming stuff. It does
Right.
feel good. To have
yeah,
them
yeah,
on.
totally. It's weird that it's not really getting talked about for ARMS, which was like the big push of it was motion control. This actually uses it great, and it works
Right.
one for one. And if we hadn't played those demos of it earlier in the year,
Yeah,
I wouldn't
yeah.
even know that it was in there.
Yeah.
But it is great where you use the stick. I use the stick for the bulk of my moving around and looking. And then if you quickly go in between two targets, it just feels great to just be able to quickly
You have
Right.
like a
flick your
third
wrist
stick,
and
kind of like it's
Yeah.
a weird.
Yeah. Well, so I pretty much have only played it at the Switch hands-on thing that we went to, and I hated the motion control, but I very quickly just learned how to ignore it.
Yeah.
Like it was we only had like a couple of rounds to play it, but even within that, I was like, oh, this is how I prefer to play it.
Yeah.
And then it was fun. Like
Yeah.
it was really fun.
Yeah, and so I mean, and again, this is the shame. I'm going away tomorrow. I'm going to be away all weekend, and then I come back for a day, and then I go away again. So I actually don't know when I'm going to get too much time to sit down and properly play the online mode. Which
Yeah.
and the single player is really fun, but in an ideal world, the single player and the multiplayer complement each other really well because they're a bit of respite from each other.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, it's weird to review any Nintendo game in advance of it coming out because you're Stockholm syndrome like me and you're in all the way, or you just have no interest.
Yeah.
Like a couple of people were like, "Oh, if I've got a Switch, is it worth getting?" Well, why have you got a Switch if you're not into Nintendo games?
Yeah,
and also,
yeah.
like, what else are you going to get,
Yeah.
bro?
Yeah.
For a less aggressive answer, I would say, I reckon this is real appealing to everyone, even if you don't think you like shooters. This could be something
I
that
don't like competitive online shooters.
Yeah,
but
I think
yeah.
more if you're not into shooters, you
Yeah.
might like
But
this.
even if you are, you still would as well. You know what?
I don't like it
I
as
like-
much as a good shooter.
In a competitive sense, I do.
Right.
I would like Titanfall. Like I said, I enjoy as well. So
You know
that's
what I
good.
reckon you'll get really into is you earn in-game currency and then you use that to buy and
Yeah.
level up weapons.
Oh, yes.
And
You
can only-
little fucking money
Because
grubber.
I'm Jewish, right? I get it. Yeah, good one, boys.
No, I know you're a big one for stats and like you
Yes,
were telling me
I know,
you got
yeah.
really hooked on the online of Mario Kart because you were like, I've
Yeah.
got to get myself up to that 2000 mark.
Totally,
And
yeah.
So I can see, and it's got that very satisfying thing where you finish a match and it's got the little bar that kind of gradually increases, and then when it gets to the end,
Yeah.
boom, you're on level 3 now, and just
Yeah.
watching it hit that next one.
Yeah.
And even if you're like, this is going to be my last one, and then if you get to the end of that and it's like, oh, look, I've only got a quarter
Yeah.
about it left. That's one more match, and then I'm going to be on the next level. I'll just do this.
That is exactly what I will get addicted
Yeah,
to
that is
about
the
it.
bit that you'll get right into.
I wish that there was a more robust offline component because I just tend to prefer that.
It's just such a shame. And you go back to, their history, Nintendo's history is like, GoldenEye. Everyone
Yeah.
crowded around the screen. Like that's one of the foundations of what people love in their brains when they remember their good memories of Nintendo.
Yeah, I love it in my brain.
I don't know if it's a technical limitation. I don't know if the worry is that it's like if you're in split screen, you can't see enough of the playing field to be able to judge. I just don't know what the decision is down to.
Is there?
Maybe it's two switches.
It's not, but I'm not.
You can do land stuff, but on the box, because this came up on Reddit a while ago too. On the box, like it just has like in terms of like single, like it's just listed as a single player game.
I don't mean offline multiplayer. I mean like offline
on the one,
or even just being able to.
Well, no, and just single player.
I just mean I mean more single player. Like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Like it's not like the most complicated game and single player experience, but there's a lot of
you
content.
can just do Grand Prix. So I mean, and like I don't know.
I think the reason would partly be with the single player stuff. They just haven't built the AI in that way.
Yeah,
all the enemies in the single player are pretty simple. Like
yeah, that's true.
Maybe
I think there is also maybe a bit of like I kind of like mentioned offhand before. Like they want people to. Like a lot of different people to buy this game. They want people to have to buy the game to play online multiplayer.
Yeah, I really think it's... I would say at least initially, I think the thought is just wanting to make sure that the servers are always full and satisfying because they... Yeah, it's all... I mean, it's timed when the levels come up and there's like there's ranked state. There's I think with Mario Kart, they're just sort of like, oh yeah, people are just racing around. But Mario Kart 8, it fills in... It fills in with AI if you're online and there's no... If people drop out, I think.
I don't think so.
Or whatever. But it...
Whatever.
Whatever. But you can get on and play online with someone else.
Yeah.
And if there's just two of you, you can just have bots.
Yeah.
You can have
And
me
like
and you
Rocket
race online
League
with
will
bots.
do that and whatever.
Yeah.
There are plenty of games that do
You're right.
that.
They just haven't put the... there's nowhere else where AI factors in. So, But I also just think it's about them wanting to keep the servers really, really full and not give people the option of... Just
maybe
making
And I guess,
it too easy.
The first game was online multiplayer first and foremost, so
And
makes
there's room
sense to
for
make the
if
sequel.
there are enough people playing. I'm still playing that Battlegrounds game. That's got
Yeah.
no single player component.
Yeah,
and
right.
It's fucking great.
But it was just so it's so weird because the first one had a split screen mode on it that which was what we played in Japan.
Yeah.
Which was kind of dog shit. Like it was not the actual game.
like one was on the.
It's you running around
pad
trying to
and-
pop balloons.
Yeah.
right.
It's just like not the actual game. And I was like, this fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Surely this will be the thing that they fix in the next one. Not only do they not fix it, that's not even bad.
Yeah.
Like I thought that was bad. I'd rather have that than nothing.
Yeah.
Anyway, because I do think this is something that you can be... It's just a shame that you can't have people around and I think people can be won over by it really quickly. Like if you sit down and play with someone on the telly...
Yep.
Like I think it's
Hey
so
guys, I brought my Switch to this rooftop party. What's the Wi-Fi password though? We're on a roof, Jennifer.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think I've read about
There is no Wi-Fi.
the genius of it for if you're not into competitive online shooters is that you can just hang back and you can just be the guy on your team that's not really going to get into the fire and just kind of like sneak around and just sort of cover up the paint, and that's great that you can be as involved in the matches as you want.
Same as a bunch of smart shooters like Overwatch and stuff that have found ways to make you contribute.
you can be a
even if
healer or
you're-
whatever.
Yeah, or a sniper. Or,
Even if you're not
Yeah.
into...
Some people have asked, is it a system seller? Probably not.
Probably not.
It's more of the opposite. Like,
yeah. Well, I mean,
I'm trading my Switch in.
the year for the Switch is bookended by its two system sellers.
Yeah.
Like people got it day one because they wanted Zelda. People are holding out or considering going in now because of Mario. But I mean, it's definitely. I think it's cool now that between that and ARMS having launched within a month, we've got. And by the way, I've been playing a lot of ARMS online and really enjoying it. And I think it's cool that between the two of them, we've now got the back end of the year that they've said with both those games they're going to keep putting updates and adding new stuff to them. That's a cool position to be in.
If you bought a Switch in 2 years, if hypothetically no other games came out somehow, Zelda and Mario you could be definitively done with. Splatoon would still be going.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
There was another... I guess, you can't address the multiplayer lobby stuff, which was a question someone asked.
Well,
what did they ask? Because I have...
What is it like?
Oh, the lobby.
Like
From the
lobby,
Splatfest, I can say...
the
Yeah, they're pretty much
interaction-
the same as the
There's
first
not
one.
that little jumping squid minigame
Yes.
anymore.
But is there any, you can't talk to other players and organise stuff?
No, well, that's through the
That's
app.
the app. Yeah.
Right.
So I don't know how that's going to work yet. That'll have to be next week. We'll figure that out.
Yes, so that'll be the interesting thing. We will have been able to
was all very
play that,
quick, though.
and we'll
It
be able
was
to use the app. Yeah.
snappy and
Okay.
got you in there.
A big criticism that people have had of it from the first one, which in typical Nintendo fashion, they've gone, hey, this thing that everyone hates, let's carry this over to the new one.
Yeah.
If you're in a lobby, you cannot change your loadout in
Right.
between matches.
Right.
So you have to kind of quit and then do that and then go back in.
That's annoying.
You also don't get to see what other people on your team or opponents are using,
Right.
which
That's true.
for the strategists out there,
Yeah, yeah,
is
yeah.
a big component.
Yeah.
This is a very small criticism. I don't like the little saying that the two new presenters have
Yeah.
as much as the one from the first one. In the first one, they went, stay fresh.
Yeah.
And this one, they say,
Don't be cooked. Stay off the hook.
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Well,
a very
something.
forced catchphrase.
Yeah.
But-
I'm the only gay in the village. That
But
sort of level of...
the single player, interestingly enough, you are guided by one of the two
From the first one,
from the
right?
first one.
Oh.
The other's the villain?
I don't know yet.
Yeah, right.
And I think even if I did know, I signed a contract saying I wouldn't say. But
I've signed nothing. It's the villain.
but it's interesting because the one that's guiding you through it kind of shits on the two new. Like
Right.
she kind of addresses that. Like
That's
she's
funny.
like a bit shitty and like
Yeah, that stuff and
that's kind of cool.
All
like,
the personality in it is
Yeah,
really great.
totally.
Yeah.
We got a couple other questions here. Do we want to do them real quick before
Yeah.
we get our butts out of here?
Yeah. Oh, so you mean non-Splatoon?
Yeah.
Oh well, because I don't know if I would have come out of listening to that knowing if it was Splatoon 1.5 or really Splatoon 2. Would you say it is kind of 1.5?
Well, I was trying to address that earlier. In today's context, it is more Splatoon 1.5.
but that's a good thing
But
because
that's
Splatoon 1 was great.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you can totally understand why they've done it.
Yeah.
It is more of a jump up than Mario Kart or like Pokken Tournament looks like it's going to be.
Right.
It's it's more of a jump. There's new stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
but
there's
it's the same game.
Yeah, there's
Right.
new
New
levels, but also it's not like there's a great deal of stuff to be done with it. And
Mm-hmm.
and you know, like I said, it's the original isn't even that old.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like the original came out, was a success. Then presumably the workings behind the scenes were okay. Well, this new thing's coming out.
Yeah.
Quick, get to work on.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
they haven't. I don't think they'd even had enough time to sit and let it digest, and no real time has passed. So it's not
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
people's tastes have changed a
Well-
great deal, which is what I was getting at with all the it feeling like a very
Yeah.
old schooly kind of sequel.
And
But,
so I guess what you'd be looking for by asking that question, like if you didn't like the first one, you won't like this one.
No,
Yeah,
not
but
at
if
all.
you did
If
like
you
the
did
first
like it,
one,
you would be satisfied by the amount of stuff
Oh,
it's
I
in.
yeah,
mean,
yeah. You
like
won't
I
feel
said-
like it's a waste of money. It's not like
No.
rebuying it.
yeah,
No.
just the amount of service it's putting into the single player and the way that that's been beefed up is like great. Like it does more than enough to go. Okay, cool. And also for me, like I'm stoked that it's now. I mean, I think I knew two people that had it on
Right.
the Wii U.
Yeah.
But I'm stoked that, and being able to play like local multiplayer, like, all wireless.
Yeah.
If we can ever get that going with us and some listeners or other
Yeah.
friends of the show or whatever, like I'm stoked about that. I'm stoked to actually be playing it with people
Yeah.
who I know have it. Whereas the first one I was like, oh, this is cool, but I have no one to talk to about it.
Yeah,
so
right.
I guess that is probably an incentive for, I presume a lot of people are in that same position given how the Switch is selling. But yeah. Was that all the questions? Yeah, I
Pretty
mean,
much, yeah.
Yeah, you won't be. Yeah. If you weren't interested in the, I reckon if you like the first one, you'll. Yeah, there's just it's more of
Yeah.
the same. But it's
And if you never
it's-
played the first, I reckon try and get your hands on this because it's. I reckon a lot more people who would like it than think they would like it.
definitely, yeah, definitely.
Which is that was kind of why we were. It's a shame that you can't do a local, like you can't share it with someone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that Splatfest thing. If anyone, I'm surprised they didn't push that harder because you were able to play the game for 4 hours and find out if you liked it.
yeah,
Yeah.
and just weird timing to do it so close to.
It was like a global thing as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, I guess go-
so close to the launch.
yeah,
Yeah, go to your equivalent of the EB games upstairs on Swanston Street. Go and
Yeah.
play it somewhere. Try
Yeah.
and
Climb up the top
yeah.
of some bus stops and see if you can find one on top of there because I've heard it's a good place.
I forgot that period of this podcast.
We put the call out for some questions. We have a couple here. Do we need to save them? What time is it?
That's an hour 30, baby.
Let's
really?
let's do them.
Okay.
Yeah. So our first question is from friend of the show, Ramsey. He says, "Hey guys, hope as well is well." Nice wordplay. Good wordplay there. When I was a kid, my dad bought me a Commodore 64. And
Wait, I don't understand that at all. Who's Aswell?
Ah, nice.
A Commodore 64 and about 100 games from another kid who, in retrospect, was clearly being punished by his parents. Nice.
The old putting the razor scooter up on the bus stop trick.
About 10 years ago, my mother lent it to her friend who was doing a master's in gaming technology. He never returned it.
You know what? I bet he didn't pass if 10 years ago he was doing his master's in gaming technology. He went, I've made a Commodore 64. I'm a master of the art.
He stuck his name on it. Has it been too long for me to ask for it back? How should I approach this? Interesting question. Have you guys ever had that happen? Like a friend go, "Oh, can I just borrow Bubsy too?" And they just never return it.
I will say a big shock in my life was maybe 6 years ago finding out that I had a reputation as a serial bad loaner. So I
brutal.
someone who would just borrow stuff and forget to give it back.
Fuck.
And my excuse, which I know doesn't hold up, but this was what was in my head, was just like, I just forget. Like if someone doesn't go, which I know, it's on me. It's totally my fault. But that was always what was going on.
I'm not really sure what is the like socially accepted time of like you've had it for this long. This is when you have to return it. Like a week. What is it?
Oh,
well, I mean, if
okay.
it's a book or something, it's just hopefully just
done.
when you finish it, which hopefully you don't take, which is my problem.
Yeah, I kind of
right.
had this happen semi-recently. A guy borrowed... a guy who I didn't hang out with super regularly. They were at my house to record a podcast from a while ago.
Right.
Is this one of us?
No, it's from our...
Sounds like it's one of us.
It's from my previous podcast. And they were a guest, and they were like, "Oh, Grand Theft Auto 5. I just got a PlayStation 4 and I haven't played it yet. Can I borrow it?" And I had owned it on the PlayStation 3, and I'd already played through the story again, and I was like, "Yeah, of course, yeah, I'll just grab it off you sometime." And they were like, "Oh yeah, cool. When you pick it up, I'll lend you Bloodborne." And so they had it for about a year,
Right.
and I didn't remember to ask for it, and then I realized it had been like 9 months, and I was really annoyed. Because I was like, surely they would have realised.
Now, Ben, I've known you for a
They're the
while.
person who has the game that has been borrowed.
So was your reaction to this grievance you had with a person to A, bring it up in a calm manner with them, or B, let it sit and seethe for a while?
No, I just forgot about it again for about 4
Okay.
months, and then I was like, oh, I actually want to play Grand Theft Auto 5, so I got it back.
Sounds like a lot of B talk I'm hearing right now. Sitting and seething.
This guy's, what are you, Jerry Seinfeld? Because I'm hearing a lot of B talk
Nice.
moving coming from over under your lips. I make a point of not borrowing shit anymore as much as I can.
To add a button on that
Yeah.
story, I had Bloodborne for about a year before I gave it back.
Right, there you go.
On purpose.
Well, yeah, I'm the
Yeah,
same,
this
Knox.
is what
I stopped
happens.
borrowing stuff because I realised it got back to me that I was very bad. Which,
Right.
what annoyed me about finding out that I had that rep was I was like, everyone's bad. Like, I've got so many books and DVDs and games that have just gone fucking walkabout.
Yeah, right.
That I lent out to someone so I'm like, I'm not getting enough credit. Like, I reckon if you factor in the number of things I've borrowed and never given back versus what I've lent out and never gotten back, I'm still in the red.
All
I'm still
right.
losing here, I reckon.
Okay, Karl Marx. Let's rate it in. You should come into it with the attitude of like, this is gone forever unless
Yes.
I happen to get it back. Unless you want to ask, and then you should be. But
I had a way too eager to please thing where like someone would come and see something that I had gotten like 2 days before and not even used yet and gone like, oh, could I borrow that? And I'd go, yeah, no, take it. And then they'd
Yeah.
leave and I'd go, the fuck did I do that
this
for?
is why I never ask to borrow anything, because people generally say yes whether they want you to or
Yes.
not. And I don't
Yeah,
want to put
right.
people. And I borrowed a DVD off of someone once years and years ago, and accidentally left it on a fucking train.
Oh.
And the guilt from that made me a better person. Mm-hmm. And that's why I.
So this is a
took that
better
scooter
version
back.
of you that
Currently
we're dealing with right now.
Yeah, I've since gone downhill.
Right.
Yeah, it is. So this guy, so Ramsey,
This
he's
absolute madman.
This absolute madman. So this is
I've
10
just
years.
realised I never actually bought him that DVD back as well.
Yeah.
I meant to, and I never did.
Well, it's the thought that counts.
I need to, but if I do it now, How much more thoughtful is that, huh?
That's great.
This
Yeah.
happened like 10 years ago.
Yeah,
Man, you're
this is
thoughtful.
the same situation. So it's 10 years.
Yeah.
And it was a friend of his mum.
Yeah.
So that's on. He's got the easy thing where he doesn't have to have the awkward phone call. He can just send his mum round to do his dirty work.
Yeah.
Because it's her responsibility. She lent it out on his behalf.
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
her responsibility.
Yeah, but again, like we were saying, like if he wants it back, he's got to chase it up.
Yeah,
Yes.
after 10 years.
Yeah.
Get in there before he dies. It's been ages.
Yeah.
10 years.
But that's life, isn't it? I'm currently sweating on an invoice that is 5 months overdue.
Oh, that's really
and
overdue.
The person who's meant to pay it keeps going on leave.
Oh.
So, like, every time I chase him up, I get another automated out-of-office reply.
Oh, that's brutal.
and
Yeah.
so the person who he's got tagged in his, hey, if you need, contact this person. So I go, hey, me again. I
Yeah.
just tried to chase this up.
Yep.
Did you ever, can you? And she's like, I can't authorize that until he gets back.
Oh.
So then he gets back and I ask him again and he goes, yeah, cool. Then I realize it's been 2 weeks and nothing's happened. And so I chase it up and he's gone on fucking leave again.
Ugh.
Must be nice.
Well, look, that's what you get if you get paid in Commodore 64s.
Yeah.
All I can
maybe.
say.
Yeah.
He's borrowing a whole fuckload of them right now off of people around the country.
Friend of the mum's 10 years. I mean, look, try your luck, but man, I would be ready for that. I mean, people move houses.
Yeah.
Like, there's
Yeah.
every chance that, that's
At some point,
gone.
you got to. I stopped waiting for this baby to pop out after 2.5 years.
Adam,
I think it's staying in there. It likes it in there.
I don't know how to break this to you.
What's that, Ben?
It's just a big shit, bro.
Oh,
I couldn't have said it better.
Sorry to jump in like that,
No,
but
no.
I knew that I was sitting on solid gold.
so will I be soon if this comes out?
As the woman who gave Goldmember a lap dance said, I'm sitting on solid gold.
Oh, yeah, good. You're a fucking idiot.
That was pretty good, I reckon. Did we have one more?
We could probably save this one for another time.
Okay,
We've done, what, an hour 45?
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's more than enough for you fucks.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening once again to Filthy Casuals for another week. filthycasuals.com.au to find the links to our socials, our email address, our premium episodes that are on Bandcamp that we would love it for you to check out because they're beyond just the fiscal reward that we all bathe in if you listen to them. We think they're really good. We
Yeah.
work really hard on them.
Yep.
They're a bit longer. They're very funny. And, they're good.
Thanks again to Loot Crate for sponsoring this episode.
Go check that out. Let us know your thoughts of Splatoon over the weekend. Hopefully. I don't think I've done this in a bit, but let's put out our friend codes and maybe we can get
Yeah.
a bit of a lobby going with some
Yeah.
of the listeners.
Good
of this.
plan, yeah.
Maybe like, we're going to record this again on Monday night. So maybe we could do something then. Who cares? Let's not make plans publicly like this because then it looks shit when we don't follow through. And make no mistake, we will not be following through. So, guys, thanks so much for listening. And as we say at the end of every episode of Filthy Casuals,
Don't get cooked. Stay off that hook. That's how they say it.
This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates. I mean, if you want. It's up to you.